Greetings, discreet defenders. Today is one of those sweet days in early May, and yes, that is a little bit of snow in the background. But the thing that makes it truly sweet is today I get to shoot 203 rounds of ammunition through my freshly cleaned and lubricated Ruger LCP MAX. And why do I get to shoot 203 rounds? Well, in part because I just ordered myself a pair of brand new 12-round Ruger magazines for the Max. And as you can see, I've preloaded some ammunition in here. The one we're going to start out with is these Sierra Outdoor Master, allegedly, 90 grain 380 hollow points. We got 13 of those left, so I've got one chambered and 12 in one of the extended magazines. After that, we'll move to some 92 grain S&B round nose, shouldn't be any problem. Then to some round nose 95 grain Fiocchis. Then on to some Browning flat nose FMJs, also 95 grains. And finally rounding up with the Carbon City lead-free ball ammunition. Now, these are partial boxes. The Carbon City, I have 41 rounds left. The Browning, I have 49 rounds left, so there's 90. The Fiocchis and the S&Bs, they're full 50-round boxes, so there's 190. And the Sierra, the 13 remaining Sierras, make up the remaining 13 rounds of my 203 round torture test, more or less, of the Ruger LCP MAX. So, without further ado, let's get started, because it's going to take us a little while to get through this, as I will have to pause to reload approximately 5 times over the course of this shoot. Again, starting out with 13 rounds, if they'll go in the gun. 13 rounds of the Sierras, which are hollow points, and they are kind of powdery. I don't know how to describe them. When I tested them last fall, I found that they left quite a bit of unburnt powder on the face of the gel blocks, as well as not expanding in the gel test. So that's why I'm going to start out testing these to see how the brand new magazine feeds through the Ruger. And I will be shooting a stump about 20 feet away. Not really going for accuracy here, just safety. And we have a malfunction. The magazine has dropped out, and we have an attendant failure to feed. Well, I mean, there's presumably a break-in period on magazines, huh? But yeah, I don't know about that lockup. I may have tagged it with my thumb, may have gotten a little low. We'll see as we go along here. I'll just keep my thumbs up and stay out of the way for that mag. Whoops, did I not? I didn't chamber that round, that's my bad. And there's all 13. All right, so much for the Sierras. Now we'll start in on the S&Bs. Again, we've got 12 of them in this magazine. Much easier to get the magazine all the way in when the chamber is open. And there's all 12. Now we'll put in a 10 rounder. Continuing with the S&Bs. I guess this wouldn't need to be here, but it gives me something to focus the camera on. And the magazine has dropped out again. Not sure if I'm doing that or if that's the magazine. I've had that happen once before with that magazine shooting really powerful ammunition. Oh, I think I'm tagging the release button. All right. Now the other 10 round magazine, this one is the one I find reliable. I marked that by, or most reliable, completely reliable. I marked that by keeping the extended base plate on there, because that's how I prefer to shoot. And I've knocked it loose again. Somehow I'm gonna have to get my thumbs away on this tiny little gun. From that button, from that release button. Okay, so this is a good learning session for me. But now I'll load up those magazines again. Okay, so we got 18 rounds left of the S&Bs, and then we'll get started on the Fiocchis. Again, I've chambered around, trying to lock that magazine in there securely. "45 more rounds. And this time I am going to try to keep my thumbs out of the way. In fact, I'm sort of used to shooting one-handed, so maybe I'll just do that. No, that is not my thumb. I'll just hold on with one finger. Nope, it's being popped out of the gun by the recoil. It's locked in there, but it's just dropping down. It's not me. It's the mag release. See, with each new shot, it's just dropping the mag release out of there. I'll do it left-handed, demonstrate. I am definitely not tagging that magazine release button with my thumb this way. Pretty good left-handed shooter. Maybe I'll keep doing that. All right, got the last 5 S&Bs. Ooh, that barely chambered. And then we'll start in on the Fiocchis in this magazine. Now, I'm gonna again shoot left-handed to try to avoid bumping that magazine button. Boy. Okay. It appears to be the way I'm gripping the pistol, although I don't like that. I don't like that seat. All right. Left hand's about sick of this. Let's go back to the 10 round mags and see if I can somehow, yeah, I'll just use one finger grip like I was doing. Make sure. Somehow pulling that magazine out with the recoil. We're now definitely into the Fiocchis. Fiocchis feel good. All right, so long as I'm not gripping the gun by the base of the magazine, I seem to be able, well, as long as I'm not resting my elbow on the table, my grip doesn't seem to knock that magazine release button. So we'll continue our experiment. Okay, we got 23 left of the Fiocchis, and that'll bring us to 103 rounds. No, that'll bring us to 113 rounds. Then I'll start in on the Brownings. All right, so this time around, I have done 22 of the Brownings in these two mags because we had 23 Fiocchis left, 12 plus 1, and then a 10-round mag. And I'm going to attempt to continue shooting, but this time being very careful to avoid the mag release button. All right, so it's not that I'm pulling down on the magazine, it's something about resting my elbows on a table causes me to break my grip in such a way that I wind up tagging the magazine release button. At least, that's as much as I can tell about what's been going wrong so far. The last 10 of those Fiocchis. Yes, okay. So, I don't know why, but the table interferes with my ability to hold on to the gun. That's why I never had this much trouble before. All right, now we're rolling. Sorry I blamed you, Mr. Ruger Max. Sorry I besmirched your name. And thumbs, I apologize to you as well. It was my elbows that were the problem. Clearly. All right, we'll load up the remaining Brownings, and then we'll start in on the Carbon Cities. So we have 27 of the Brownings left. 1 in the gun, 12 in each of the extended magazines, and then the first 2 rounds of this magazine, and then we'll be into the Carbon City. No problems. Uh-oh. Now, here we have a little failure to eject. We may be running into, no, that's actually a failure to feed. We may be running into the first issues with fouling as we are closing in on 150 rounds through this gun. Okay, last 2 Brownings. Now the Carbon Cities. Ah, done. Good. And we have 2 dozen of the Carbon Cities left, precisely. A happy coincidence, because we can fit them all in the 2 12-round magazines. And this Ruger LCP MAX is getting pretty gummed up, so we will slingshot that closed. All 12, no issues. Again, slingshotting closed. Okay, that's no problem. So the problem was with my stance. I am doing something wrong when I am leaning across this table. I don't know what exactly, but I know it's not the gun. I know it's me, but I also know how to correct it, even without knowing exactly what I'm doing wrong. But there we go. 203 rounds, 49 95 grain Brownings, 41 75 grain Carbon Cities, 50 round nose Fiocchis, 50 92 grain round nose S&B, and starting it all off was 13 hollow points from Sierra. That's the break-in of my brand new 12-round magazines. 203 round torture test of the Ruger LCP MAX. 2 existing 10-round mags, which performed admirably, I must say. And the Maglula, which is of dubious value as far as I'm concerned. I wound up reloading these magazines mostly by hand, which is actually rather challenging, especially with these brand new springs on the 12-rounders. All right. Thanks, folks. This is Dave for DDR. Have a great week.